Good morning, all. In this session, we are going to start the next family. The family name is Liliaceae. In the previous session, the last session, we completed the family Solanaceae. The Solanaceae family is also known as potato family, and we discussed about the habitat of the Solanaceae family members and vegetative characters, floral diagram and floral formula. So we have completed all those Solanaceae family characters distributing salient features of family, and now like that we are going to study the family Liliaceae. The Liliaceae family, it is a monocotyledonous family. A monocot family it is. Monocot family means the plants comes under the Liliaceae or the monocot plant. Okay, so don't remember like it is a monocotyledonous plant or monocotyledonous family. So you don't get the marks if you write the monocotyledonous family in your distributing or in your distinctive characters. Okay, so just keep this in your mind. So Liliaceae family members are as follows. The characters are as follow. It is distributed worldwide. Worldwide it is distributed, first character, and they are perennials. Perennials means they are going to develop, they are going to grow in all seasons, they are going to remain in throughout the year. It is not it in the Liliaceae family member, the Liliaceae family plants, they are going to stay particularly in one season. It is not like that. They are perennials, means they are going to develop, the family members going to develop in throughout the year or throughout the seasons. They have underground combs, bulbs, etc. Rhizomes, etc. So you might have seen the onion plant. How it will be? The onion plant, it may be having the leaf, and it consists of the bulb with rhizoids. You might have seen all this, no? So this is all about the family Liliaceae. If you very well, if you know very well about the plant, it will become easier to write the characteristic features of this family. Okay, whatever the characters are there in the onion plant, just look at the plant or look at the characters of the plant. It will become easier. Don't look at the board. So only for the study purpose you can, you just observe this. If you have grown the onion plant in your home or in your garden or in any of the fields, you might have seen those kind of plants. No, just observe that, just try to read the characters and all. It will become easier to memorize, to keep that in mind, the characters. Okay. So this is in a bud condition and leaf, and they have leaves, okay, and cones, bulbs, etc. So from here the vegetative characters begin. Vegetative character. Now they have underground combs, bulbs and rhizomes. Now coming to the stem, Stem is, before going to start the stem, or let me tell you the perennial condition and underground combs, bulbs and rhizomes. This is the distinctive character of stem, my dear students. So these two are referred as the distributive character or distinctive character of stem. The stem is going to live in all the seasons, and it has the, what is that, underground comb like stem, or bulb form stem, or rhizomes, may have rhizomes. And coming to the leaf, salient features of leaf, the leaves are mostly basal, alternate, mostly basal, alternate, linear with parallel venation. So they just look at the leaf arrangement from where it has begun its development, right from the base. Right from the base, it had developed. So the origin is from base. Okay, now that's why they have given the character as basal. Alternate. Alternate means one leaf will be here, one more will be here, one more and one more. So like this type of arrangement can be seen in the what is that, this Liliaceae family. So though it has combined it with one another, you can't differentiate, you can't see by seeing this picture, you can't see the alternate arrangement of leaf. That's why I have separated all the leaves and I have drawn this diagram. And don't write this, consider this is the plant of the onion, and the leaves are alternate to one another, and they are linear. Linear means if you tear one leaf, the leaf bases, though they have originated from the base, the arrangement is linear. Just tear one leaf, it will come to the extreme, and you can pluck that leaf. So that type of arrangement is known as linear, and they having parallel venation. Parallel venation means the venation will be like this. It has the midrib and veins got arranged parallel to one another like that. But in dicotyledonous plant, if the leaf, suppose the leaf is like this, it has network arrangement, the veins arranged in the network form. But here in the monocotyledonous plant, the venation is parallel. Next is floral characters. First of all, we have to tell about the inflorescence. The inflorescence is solitary, having single inflorescence at the tip of the floral axis, and cymose type of inflorescence. Cymose means the floral axis end to one flower, and it has number of branches at the base. The succession is basipetal. From the base of the flower, it has number of branches, and each branch consists of number of flowers. Cymose type of inflorescence. Next is, they are umbellate cluster. Now, what is umbellate cluster? The umbellate cluster is, suppose this is the axis, floral axis, You might have seen this type of inflorescence. Like that, number of flowers arranged in a bundle. So, like this, the inflorescence will be. Okay, that's why if the flowers aggregate with one another, inflorescence, they are having the inflorescence or they are having the flowers from this central axis. All the flowers get connected to the central axis and they all get separated, and by seeing that inflorescence we cannot tell what type of inflorescence it is, but we have to write it is a cymose inflorescence, right? And that's why having the bunch at the tip of the floral axis, and this type of aggregation of flower is known as umbellate flower or umbellate cluster. The name itself saying in a cluster form the flowers get arranged. Okay. Now after the inflorescence, what we have to describe? We have to tell about the flower. And each flower is bisexual. Flower is bisexual and actinomorphic. Actinomorphic bisexual means what, my dear students? Bisexual means both the reproductive organs are present in the flower. Actinomorphic means it is a radially symmetrical. The flower has symmetry. If we take the half from the flower from any angle or from any plane, if we take the central axis, if we cut the flower, we will get two equal halves. Such type of arrangement is known as actinomorphic. So after the flower, what we have to tell? We have to tell about the calyx and corolla. The calyx and corolla fused with one another, giving only one structure known as perianth. Perianth is a condition where the calyx and corolla fused with one another, so that we cannot distinguish which is corolla and which is calyx. Next is tepals. So perianth, what do you call the perianth? In the simple form, as like we used to tell the calyx as the corolla of sepal is known as calyx, the corolla of petals are known as corolla. And what do you call the perianth? The perianth is called as tepal. Tepal has 3+3 arrangement. Now, how to describe this 3+3 arrangement? When I draw the floral diagram, I'll make sure I'll write how the 3+3 condition is present in this flower. And all the tepals are epitepalous. Epitepalous means, do you remember epipetalous? Epipetalous means what, my dear students? On the petal, the androecium is present. So this condition on the petal, if the androecium arises, this condition is known as epipetalous. Now what we should use the word, instead of petal and calyx, we have written here tepal. So on the tepals, so this is the tepal of Liliaceae family. On the tepals, the androecium got arise. That's why what we have to mention this type of arrangement. This type of arrangement is epitepalous. Tepalous. Okay. Now coming to the gynoecium. Gynoecium is three locules, having three locules with many ovules with superior ovary. The carpel is syncarpus. It has many carpels, all carpels fused with one another. I'll describe one more time. And they are axial placentation. And they are having axial placentation. Okay, now what do you mean by three locules? Suppose this is the ovary. It has three chambers. Suppose this is the ovary. In the ovary, it has one locule, second locule, third locule. One chamber, second chamber, third chamber. And each chamber consists of ovules, number of ovules. Okay. So that is the meaning of three locules and many ovules. Now what about superior ovary? So superior ovary means what? Perigynous condition, the position of accessory organs and the ovary and the sex reproductive organs. Based on this, what we studied in the last two sessions, we studied about the perigynous, hypogynous and epigynous. In that, the perigynous condition, it means the ovary is placed at the superior position. From the bottom of the ovary or from the basal part of the ovary, the accessory whorls and androecium are placed. The type of ovary is known as perigynous ovary or superior ovary. And about the syncarpus, syncarpus means what? It doesn't have only one carpel, it has number of carpels. Carpels means pistils. Pistils means what? Pistils consist of style, stigma and ovary. So these type of pistils or carpels will be having many in number. All those carpels fused with one another, united. So that type of arrangement, the type of unit of carpels is considered as syncarpus. Now axial placentation means what? Axial placentation means the placenta is present at the axial position, at the central. This is the central position or axial position. So at this axial position, the placenta is present. The placenta means what? Placenta is a cushion like structure or tissue. On that tissue, on that soft tissue, the ovules connected. That's why it is known as, so this condition, or sorry, this structure is known as placenta. And the placenta is in which place the placenta is present? At the axial position, central position. That's why we used to call that as axial position. Now the next thing, we have to tell about the fruit. Fruit is capsule or rarely berry. Rarely berry means what? In few of the plant, it may possess the juicy and colored fruit, but maximum of the plant, it may consist of capsule type of fruit. Capsule means what? In the last family itself, I described about that. Capsule is when the fruit is going to disperse the seed. That type of fruit is known as capsule. And the seed is endospermous. Endospermous means what? The seed consists of endosperm. The seed consists of reserve food materials. Why it contains reserve food material? only it should nourish the embryo. That's why it consists endosperms. The seeds, whatever the seed, if the seed consists endosperm, that type of seed is known as endospermous. Okay, now coming to the floral formula. How to write the floral formula? First you have to write the floral formula, then you must go to the floral diagram. Floral formula. It is bracteate. Okay, bracteate means at the what is that? At this inflorescence, it has a what? A reduced leaf. If such a type of arrangement is present at the base of flower, that type of arrangement is known as, that type of modification or that type of structure is considered as bracteate. So this is the bisexual flower. That's why we have to show both the signs here, and it is actinomorphic. Okay, now calyx is not there, corolla is not there. That's why we are going to write the perianth. The perianth is 3 plus 3 arrangement. 3 plus 3 means, I'll tell you when I draw the diagram. I'll tell you. They are fused. Androecium is 6 in number. Androecium is epipetalous. Epipetalous means on the tepal, the androecium arised, and this is also 3 plus 3 arrangement. Gynoecium is superior. Ovary is superior, having 3 locules. All the locules fused with one another. The putting the bracket to this number, it means what? The tepals and the locules. 3 number indicates the locule, number of locules. Okay, bracket means what? All those locules got fused with one another, and 3 plus 3 putting in the bracket means what? 3 and 3 arrangement. 3 tepal and few more 3 tepal, they got fused with one another. Okay, let me tell you one more thing here. Consider this is the calyx and corolla. They got fused and they are appearing as a perianth or the tepal. Now, let me write the floral floral diagram of it. The floral diagram is alright. So, look at this arrangement. 3 structure are out in position and 3 structure are in position. So, the tepals will be arranged in this manner, and all these tepals fused with, that's why I have written here as 3 plus 3, and all these tepals fused with one another. Fused means you have to show the fusion between these tepals. So, make it like that so that it visible as it appear as fused condition. So, where to draw the lines? Just look at the picture one more time. Where to link the tepals with one another? Take this margin and connect to this tepal margin, and from here to here, here to here, and like this. Now, You have to show the epitepalous condition. Epitepalous means on the tepal the androeciums are present. Each tepal, from each tepal you have to take the androecium from here and from here and like this and like this. Okay, so that's all about the epitepalous condition. Now show the ovary. Ovary is superior. You can't show the superior ovary condition in the floral diagram, but you can show the three locules inside the ovary, and they have ovules in it. So this is all about the structure of what, or the floral diagram of family Liliaceae. Okay, so that's all about the family Liliaceae characteristic feature. And one more thing I must tell in this Liliaceae family. Now what is that? I have to tell about the economic importance of Liliaceae family. The economic importance are as follows. After the floral diagram, write this: economic importance. Now, economic importance is this family members used as an ornamental plant. That ornamental plant is tulip. Okay, next, second one is tulip and gloriosa. Now second one is medicinal plant. The medicinally important, economic important plant is olive and as vegetable, in the form of vegetables also it has been used, and the vegetable purpose used plants are asparagus, one more is colchicine. Alright, asparagus and colchicine, these two are the what? Vegetables. Vegetable purpose used plants comes under family Liliaceae. Okay, so if you write all these characters with diagram and also with floral formula, floral diagram and plant structure and umbellate clusters like this. Umbellate cluster arrangement will be like this. Okay. So this is the structure showing umbellate cluster. So this is all about the family Liliaceae. If you have any doubt regarding today's session regarding family Liliaceae, ask me. Okay, thank you.